The next is informal public comments, and this is the opportunity for anybody to make 3 minutes in comments, and we have some cards that I will call on, and the 3 minutes you'll be designated that at 1 minute, I believe it is, it turns to yellow and then red after 3 minutes, so that you know your time is up. At this point in time, I would call on Mrs. Jessica Juba. If you please come forward, tell us where you live, and we'll be glad to hear from you. Thank you.
Hello. Again, I'm Jessica Juba. I live at 2875 Eagle View Place in Concord, North Carolina. I am the owner of Bella, the pit bull that was shot and killed a couple of weeks ago in our neighborhood. And our concern that we would like to address with you all today is there's a lot to our story, and the media, as you know, has had it out there a good bit. And they're very limited on the time that they have, but there's so much more to be heard about our story. There's a lot that went wrong that day. There was a gun shot in a neighborhood full of children. There's no report of it. My fiance was falsely arrested with less than 24 hours after this happened, set at an excess of $10,000 bond. There's been an abuse of power in this whole situation. And I'm asking you guys to take it serious about really what went on that day, because the information that you guys are getting from your sheriff's office and from the police officers that were there that day is false. We have mounds of evidence and proof of exactly what went on that day, and the way things ended weren't right, and changes need to be made. And when I talk about changes, the animal control officer that shot our dog is still in training to shoot a tranq gun. They say that he's the only animal control officer out there that is not licensed to shoot one. So why is he out on calls? He shouldn't be able to respond to these kind of calls. He should be behind a desk until he can. There should be better training with regards to how to handle animals. Our dog was scared. She was running away. He shot her in the back in front of children as she was running away through a neighborhood. Children reported going to school, and we've got comments from teachers of how distraught they were coming to school seeing this dog murdered this way. It's affected our family, it's affected our lives, and something needs to be done about it. And it can't be just swept underneath the rug because these guys that were responsible for their actions that day wear a badge. And we are willing to give you as much information as we have to make sure that the full picture is looked at, because something has got to be done. We've heard horrible stories from many other families where they've had the same tragedy happen, but the difference with our case is we have proof and we have evidence of what really went on that day. The people that wear badges in our case here, to be quite honest, they don't have the right to serve and protect our communities. And if you want to see reasons why, I can provide it to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Jeff Daniels.
My name is Jeff Daniels. I also live at 2875 Eagle View Place here in Concord, North Carolina. Thank you for allowing me this time. I just want to take a minute and read an excerpt from one of our witness statements that was on scene that day, if I may. I firmly believe that the situation should have never resulted in her death. At no time in the 45 minutes to an hour that I was outside witnessing the event did I ever feel that she was a danger or aggressive to any person out there. There were kids not 20 feet away playing basketball outside, families walking up and down the street, people outside in their yards nearby, and at no point did she ever charge anyone. If anything, she was running away from the people attempting to catch her. She was scared. She at many points would stop to look at the people chasing her to see if they were her owner. I believe that this has been another breed of dog, such as a Labrador or a Golden Retriever. The words dangerous or aggressive would have never been used, and a gun certainly would not have been pulled on them. This experience has questioned my belief in the system that we currently have in place for animals. I believe I'm sorry. This was an avoidable tragedy. I'm begging you to look into this further. We have undeniable proof of what happened that day, but it seems like nobody wants to listen. And I'm just asking you, please, look into this further. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Scott Taylor.
I'm Scott Taylor, 3372 Smith Farm Road, Matthews, North Carolina. The rain tonight is just a foreshadowing of the deluge that is about to be upon this county. As Mr. Caruth put it in his email to Manager Day, this is the responsibility of the sheriff, but soon it will flood over into our jurisdiction. As Patty Beaker said, it will continue to mushroom and create consequences far and beyond what anyone is expecting at this point. The Board of Commissioners is in a unique position to work to find resolution in this matter. I urge you to act quickly and proactively to address the systemic flaws in the Sheriff's Department that caused this to occur in the first place. In the upcoming days, I will be submitting numerous requests to the Sheriff's Department and other county agencies. I'm expecting full, prompt fulfillment of all the documents and records I request. 2 weeks ago, Sheriff Riley stated that he had seen no wrongdoing in the part of his deputy and that his investigation was nearly complete. When can we expect to see this after it's been reviewed? The violations of law in this case, including the trampling upon of Mr. Daniels' U.S. and state constitutional rights, has not gone unnoticed by your constituents and the world. Ladies and gentlemen, you can have the tsunami wash over this community, or you can start by building a big boat. I was informed today that in upcoming days, this is going to be carried on CNN in a two-part thing. Animal control has been requested for comment and has not done so at this time. We've already been on nationally syndicated the Alan Handelman radio show. I'm sure that all of you have received a very own deluge of emails from the community. For that, I can't make an apology. People are outraged. I know that you don't want to see him so much anymore, and I urge you to do what you need to do as best you can to try to right this. Now, our mission is to make sure that this never happens again. Not in this community, not in this state, not in this country. We are fighting hard. We've got 50,000 thereabouts supporters online already. Many of you may have seen the ads that are already beginning to appear. Bumper stickers are coming. We are going to make sure that everybody out here knows about this. Some of the emails you've received from Namibia, I'm getting copied on them as well. People in Namibia know about this. How many of us can find Namibia on a map? This is a very big situation, and it's going to make the world a better place. We depend on y'all to help make that happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Next we have is Ralph Smith. Mr. Smith? Ralph Smith, Jr.? Okay. Next matter we have is under the addition there on the back side of the...
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner
I
Meyer.
know that we ordinarily do not discuss these presentations, but I think in light of the situation with the animal and things that have been going on, I think the public is going to read our non-response, and I just wondered, when will we take this up, or when will we get a report?
Well, the report, I don't know a time frame in regards to the report, and I would turn that over to Mr. Cook. He may have gotten anything current, but what I understand is that once an investigation is completed, it's going to be reviewed by Mr. Cook, and then it's going to be released to the public. And I will turn it over to Mr. Cook as to a time frame that's estimated in that regard.
I can't give an exact deadline on that, except to say that my goal is to have that released to the public by the end of this week. I think that's really about as much as I can say about it at this point.
Okay. And when you talk about an investigation, it can take on many different meanings. so that until I look at it, I have no idea what actually is being investigated. Is policy, procedure, actions, so that until we look at it, until we see what's going on, I won't know that. And what I was going to do is afterwards, after tonight's meeting, is contact Mrs. Juba and Mr. Daniels about the information that they have, so that we can, if we can get copies of that, that could be something we could look at as well. So we make certain we have both sides of the picture.
Thank you for that. I just wanted the public to know that we are not just sitting here ignoring this.
Right. Thank you. Going on to old business under E1,